It's your sanctuary for information, and of course, we're coming at you with some maximum orientation this wonderful Saturday morning to modify your behavior on that journey through the roads, through the waterways, the rails, and of course, in the air too. It's all about you getting the right information that will keep you ahead of the information race and have you leverage on such vital information to improve your productivity. My dear listener, it's a fresh start, and I can tell you this Saturday things are gradually building up, and it's time for you to deploy the best of your inner will in harnessing limitless opportunities that this day provides. All right, so as you travel along the various places and as you head for your various places of endeavor, realize that although risks abound everywhere, it is for want of success that you defy such odds to become a winner in life. The words of Vincent Van may just be an inspirational tonic to ginger you this Saturday morning. He says, and I quote him, "Fishermen know that the sea is dangerous and the storm very, very terrible, but they have never found these dangers suitable and sufficient reasons for remaining ashore." End of quote. And with those very propelling thoughts, I welcome you to Maritime Today, your twice weekly adventure through the maritime world. Wednesdays 9:15 and Saturdays 10:15. Your frequency of attraction comes alive with latest gist in the maritime domain, bringing you latest happenings from regulators, industry watchers, policymakers, and even other relevant stakeholders as they use their ideas and contributions to stimulate discourse that will trigger 360 degrees transformation of the maritime industry. The program is brought to you by the Nigerian Shippers Council, the economic regulator of the ports. Thanks for joining us. My name is Victor Oteri. All right, so on the program this morning, we'll be doing a kind of assessment through the ports to find out what's been going on there. So we're trying to see how we promote a corrupt-free port system in Nigeria. And we'll be doing that from the viewpoint of the Convention on Business Integrity. So what is the whole concept behind this particular outfit, and how far we come in terms of ensuring that business processes at the ports are seamless as they should be. Be on our conversation corner, but of course latest gist will be brought to you as well, and that includes the latest signing of a memorandum of understanding that's between the Nigerian Shippers Council and the Nigerian Railway Corporation. All this and much more will be part of the menu if you can keep us company from now through 11 o'clock. But right now, let's take a detour to have a word from our partners, and when we return, it'll be time to set sail.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B, with a measure within on a needle. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting now for the port of Nanid.
From A to B, from A to B, from north to south, from north to south, from east to west, from east to west, from port to port, from port to port. You can ship your goods and feel good too. Oh yeah, Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program. We set for the conversation. Before then, quickly, let's take you through the roads. Most of the areas are still looking pretty good at the moment. And from our live cameras in the studios, we can tell you Yanawuru end is looking pretty good. Also, if you're coming in from the K2, trying to connect with heading towards Kushafe is also good. The return journey towards Ojota is building up gradually, but of course it's still very good. From Ojota towards New Garage, that's where you meet some slowness, nothing unusual. The construction corridor around Uduyalaru is responsible for that, and so alternation is on at that particular location. So we'll be serving you more helpings as they come in from time to time. But let's branch to the newsroom to have the latest gist in the maritime world. Mike James is here to take us through that in less than 5 minutes.
Here is maritime news. The Nigerian Shippers Council (NSC) has signed a memorandum of understanding (MOU) with the Nigerian Railway Corporation NRC to enhance cargo evacuation from seaports to the hinterland and reduce business costs. At a joint sensitization and MOU signing event in Lagos, NSC Executive Secretary Pius Akuta said the collaboration aims to address insufficiencies in cargo evacuation caused by the lack of a rail system. He noted that this has led to port congestion, delayed vessel offloading, and increased demurrage costs. Akuta emphasized the NSC's role in liaising with government agencies to resolve inland transportation issues and monitoring intermodal coordination to improve efficiency. NRC Managing Director Fidet Ohiria said the MOU signing will strengthen their responsibility to ease cargo movement through rail linkage. He acknowledged the challenge of unavailability of cargoes for rail freight and urged terminal operators to harness to take advantage of this opportunity. Other speakers, including Apapa Local Government Chairman Adejumoke Idowu and Council for Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, CRFFN, Registrar Chinyere Urumta, emphasized the need for functional freight and passenger rail transportation, collaboration among stakeholders, and support for government agencies to achieve ease of doing business in Nigerian ports. In another development, a devastating explosion and fire on a wooden cargo boat on the waterways in Bayelsa has claimed the lives of 20 people, with many more still unaccounted for. The boat, carrying over 64 passengers and crew, as well as farm produce, was en route Swali Market in Yanagwa when the tragedy occurred on Wednesday. According to ASP Musa Mohammed, police spokesman in Bayelsa, rescue efforts by the Marine Police Unit are ongoing, but 20 deaths have already been confirmed. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria Bayelsa chapter has also dispatched a rescue team to assist passengers on board. A speedboat operator, Augustine Amayoro, who participated in rescue efforts, reported saving 10 persons, but many others remain stranded in a nearby fishing camp. The incident highlights concerns over safety regulations in the marine transport sector, with calls for concerted efforts to strengthen measures that will prevent such tragedies. And finally, in the news, an explosion occurred on board a Liberia-flagged container ship, YM Mobility, at China's Ningbo Zhoushan port on Friday, but fortunately no casualties or injuries were reported. The blast happened at around 1:40 p.m. local time and sent cargo scattering, with a plume of black smoke visible in footage from China Central Television (CCTV). The ship, owned by Taiwanese shipping firm Yang Ming Marine Transport Corp., was transporting hazardous goods and was docked at the port's Beilun terminal. While the crew and dock workers were safe, nearby company offices were affected by shock waves from the blast, with reports of damaged windows and collapsed ceiling. The Ningbo Zhoushan port, one of the world's busiest ports, is a major hub for oil loading and discharging and is operated by Ningbo Zhoushan Ports Corporation in China's eastern Zhejiang province. An investigation into the cause of explosion is likely to continue. And that was the Maritime News. Over to Victor for the rest of the program.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council they feel in a parole now for every level, and as soon as goods they move from port A go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng. Allow us on top 0818-888-8895 or 0703-584-6468. Nigerian Shippers Council with the meeting now for the port of Nanid.
Lagos Traffic Radio, 96.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program. We set for the conversation, but quickly, let's let you know that those of you who are still making use of the roads, you want to head to the island this morning, the roads are still pretty cool and calm. Making use of the 3rd Mainland Bridge is not bad at all. Ikorodu Road as well is receiving with good vehicular flow, save for those of you around the Ojota end. It's just a slow and steady kind of movement, nothing unusual, no breakdowns there. By the time you are through with the counter flow point, Maryland towards Fadeyi looks good. Emptying into Funshaw Williams Avenue is also looking good. And of course, connecting the Coal Bridge to Akpongbon, not bad at all. All right, so on the program this morning, we are looking for best ways of promoting a corrupt-free system at the ports. And we're doing that from the viewpoint of the Convention for Business Integrity. So my guest is joining me on the phone line this morning, Olusoji Apampa, who is the co-founder of the Convention for Business Integrity. Mr. Apampa, nice to have you join us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Very good too. So we know that you are one of the most prominent voices in the wilderness of a safe and, of course, a sane port system in Nigeria. And, of course, you've been advocating for a system whereby corruption can be eliminated. So let me find out from you. You've been with this crusade for several years. How is that campaign going, by the way?
The campaign is going very well, thank you. Very well. Yes. Nigeria continues to be seen now as a leader, at least in the narrow area of improving vessel clearance. In vessel clearance, at least, the world is respecting what Nigeria has done. And some of the things Nigeria has done, as I think I've mentioned on the show before, is now being replicated in other jurisdictions. Ghana is beginning a whole process led by the Ghana Maritime Authority.
Okay.
And in the case of Egypt, the Suez Canal Authority and some other places, some of those things are being replicated as well.
All right. So let's talk about the Convention of Business Integrities. What has been happening ever since our last conversation? At least we spoke with you about a year ago or thereabouts. So what's been happening to CBI, as the case may be?
Yes. So at the CBI, particularly on the maritime, we had the good fortune of being asked to develop an integrity course for port states inspection officers. And after we finished developing that course, the Abuja MOU actually gathered participants from 26 countries.
Oh, good.
26 countries, all the way from Mauritania to South Africa. And we came together, had the training in Parkview in Lagos, which was also launched by His Excellency the Ambassador of Denmark, because that activity was funded by Denmark, the government of Denmark.
Okay.
So yes, we've done that. And we've also now been requested to design an integrity course for vessel pilots.
Oh.
And yes, and that we've gone through the process. The draft training has now been approved, and it's going to be launched with the Suez Canal Authority in Egypt next month.
Oh, good. Good. So lots of
yes.
busy hands for you. You've been very, very busy as it relates to what you do with the maritime sector. All these courses that you are designing, if you look at the overall impact of that on the maritime sector, how's it been?
You know, the impact on Nigeria has remained steady to start with. And in other places, it's at the introductory stage. So we can't talk of impact yet.
Okay.
We can only talk of adoption. But in Nigeria, the impact has been steady. You know, we started with about 266 cases reported in 2019,
right,
which fell year on year to like 45 cases last year.
Ooh.
And so far this year, things have been going very well. We hope that we do not destroy that progress by the end of the year. Most of our activities in Nigeria this year has been to let the new people and the newly elected people know what has happened before they came into office, so that they can own this change and success. You know, success has many parents.
That's right.
It is failure that is an offer. So we try to make sure that, you know, all the new people coming understand where they can take it and how they can own the success by adding to what has already been done.
And how has it been? Have they been receptive?
It has been fantastic.
Okay.
You know, even the training with the Abuja MOU that I mentioned, the Honorable Minister for Marine and Blue Economy gave a speech as the deputy chair of the Abuja MOU.
Okay.
And it was the Minister of Infrastructure in the Gambia, who is the chairman of the Abuja MOU, who gave the keynote.
Right.
So we're getting that level of buy-in. We've had a meeting also with the Permanent Secretary, Marine and Blue Economy, and the support has been fantastic for continuing with these reforms.
Which is very good. So you've talked about the gradual decline in terms of cases that are reported. We're talking about corruption-induced kind of cases. Let's reflect a bit on those kind of issues that come to your table at the Convention for Business Integrity. Over the years, what kind of cases are brought to you?
Sadly, it has been mostly about quarrels over what constitutes a travel document.
Okay.
So those have been by far, like 80% of the cases have been around that. So it has involved immigration. And why? Because immigration law in Nigeria says that what constitutes a travel document will be decided by the Comptroller General of Immigration from time to time. Not international standards, not IMO standards like the rest of the world. In Nigeria, it is what the Comptroller General says. So every immigration officer feels that they have the authority to then interpret the law.
Okay.
And you know what that means. If each person is able to create, no, the stamp is wrong, it shouldn't have been signed here, no, this one can't be left blank.
Right.
That then creates the opportunity to say, well, you people will have to be delayed. You know, once a captain hears that, he knows it is anything between $20,000 and $150,000 per day.
Right.
So if his agent is now saying, Oga, let us settle, let's give this man, all he's asking for is $2,000 or $4,000 or $20,000.
Right. So
you can see that it's making sense almost to want to pay.
That's right.
So this is where the challenges come from. It's not that our officers go on and ask for a bribe. They never do. They always look for a loophole. The same way our traffic officers, our police will stop you. Where is this? You show them. Where is that? You show them. Where is the receipt for your spare tire? Then you say, I don't have it. Say, okay, clear very well.
And then you can just...
And you know that the wahala has just begun.
Exactly. And that will take you the whole day.
Yes.
And for you,
Exactly.
those who are in a hurry will definitely want to settle or do some kind of
Thank
kickbacks.
you.
All right. So
That's
how do you intervene? So how do you intervene with this kind of matters?
So what happens is that we set up something called the help desk. And as the vessels are coming to Nigerian waters, they send us what is called a pre-arrival notification.
Okay.
So we know where they will be, we know which port they're visiting, we know their expected time of arrival. And we have also given them a WhatsApp number. So as soon as captain comes anywhere near our waters, is already testing that number to make sure somebody is on the other end of the phone. Good. Then when the officials board the vessel, you know, they have to fill what is called a gangway log.
Right.
In that gangway log, they have to declare who they are and what agencies they're from. And the part of the changes we've been fighting for and have been accepted and the government has put in place is having joint boarding. So all who are aboard, we know. When the captain has that difficulty and is being asked, is scanning documents to us to show this is what we've presented, this is what they're saying. And our collaboration with the Shippers Council and with the Port Standing Task Team is what then enables it to be escalated. So they escalate it. And sometimes they're able to phone the officer directly and say, well, Captain, give the phone to the officer. They say, what is the problem? With that intervention, usually anyone who does not have a genuine reason backs out.
Okay. All right. So in this kind of interventions, it means that the enforcement agency, let's say the Customs Service, they already know you exist and they are ready to cooperate with you. Is that the case?
Okay, so what we have gone about is what we call collective action. So it is us, it is Shippers Council, it is Ports Authority, and all of those agencies, immigrations and so on, they have a port steering committee for the reforms, which is the secretariat is TUGA, the Technical Unit on Government Anti-Corruption Reforms.
That's right.
That is housed in Nati. TUGA. So all of them have their representatives in this reform. It's not us versus them. We are actually all together. Just that not all rank and file people know about the reforms, know what they're supposed to do, understand the standard operating procedures, and so on.
Okay, which is very good. Lagos Traffic Radio, that is 6.1 FM. This morning, we are trying in our little way to promote a corruption-free system at the Nigerian ports in Nigeria. And we are doing it from the viewpoint of the Convention for Business Integrity. Olusoji Apampa is co-founder of that convention. He's speaking with us on the phone line this morning. We're going to take a short break right now. When we return, we'll find out from him which ports are the most problematic, especially as it relates to some of these issues that he's talked about. Which ports in Nigeria? He'll also give us an idea. And what next? This is August 2024. In the next 4, 5, 6, 7 months, what should we expect from the Convention for Business Integrity? These are many more. Plus your own thoughts as well. You can send that to us on 08099 120 777. A brief break. We will be back.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline 0818-888-8895. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos. Or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
Lagos Traffic Radio, that is 0.1 FM. Maritime Today is the program, and I still have with me Olusoji Apampa. He's the co-founder, the Convention on Business Integrity. We're trying to see how we stimulate, a corruption-free port system in Nigeria. Taking you through the roads, Okota Isolo, to be very precise, I can tell you 5-star connecting Aswani as well as Osoloway and Aye Junction. It's a moving traffic being experienced there, but still looking good. Return journey not bad at all. Jakonde Gate to Pako is a good traffic. Likewise for the return journey. And then we can tell you Pako connecting Kogberegbe and areas like Aye Junction, it's moving pretty well. Likewise for the return. All right, then, like I said, you can also join the conversation too, and that will be on 080 991207777. 0809-912-0777 and 091-5387-7127. All right, then. So, Mr. Pampa, let's get back to the conversation. So, which of the ports, at least we have 7 ports now operational in Nigeria as we speak right now. So, which of them would you say records the highest volume in terms of corruption cases?
Okay. let me start first by giving the good news.
Okay.
Because in the old days, the worst area for shipping was Bonny. The whole region called Bonny, which is offshore.
Right.
That was the worst for vessels before. And at the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, they actually had a Bonny working group to try to solve this problem. Of all the ports on the globe, Bonny was their biggest problem.
Wow.
But with all of these reforms that have been taking place with the government of Nigeria over these years, they disbanded the Bonny working group because Bonny was no longer an issue.
Okay.
These changes actually made sense, and it is now called the Tanker Working Group.
Oh, good. Good.
Just dealing with issues relating to oil tankers. It's no longer about Bonny. Now, but eastern ports are still the problem. So, One, Port Harcourt, Warri, the eastern ports are more of a problem than the western ports.
The western ports.
Which is Lagos, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm having some messages here for you. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. And Mr. Pampa says, how do you plan to keep reducing corruption at Nigerian ports? Adebayo from Wharf is sending that one in. I think you've been talking about that. This one says, hello, Traffic Radio. Please explain how the Nigerian Port Process Manual, NPPM, is helping the fight against corruption. Alhaji Shitu is sending that one in. All right, Mr. Papa, you want to respond to these two contributors?
Yes. The answers are related.
Just a second.
Yes.
Let me take this call that's coming in. Hello there. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
All right. What's your name?
My name is Chris.
Okay, Chris. How you doing?
I'm very good. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Orile.
Oh, really? All right. So Apampa is on the line. You want to say something to him?
Yeah. I want you to ask him how they make sure that the anti-corruption measures they're taking at the port last long, even after someone like Mr. Pampa leaves.
Okay. So what measures is he putting in place for succession if he's not there?
Exactly.
All right then,
Okay.
Chris. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Pampa, you heard that. What
Yes, I had that.
go ahead.
Number one, what are we doing about what are the measures we are putting in place to reduce corruption?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, how does the port process manual contribute to this?
Mm-hmm.
And if Mr. Pampa is not there,
Right.
how do we ensure that these things continue?
That's right.
Good. So they are all related. The way in which corruption is being managed at the ports is through that Nigeria Port Process Manual. That Port Process Manual is a summary of all of the standard operating procedures that have been developed by the individual agencies at the ports.
Okay.
What it does is that it now adds timelines, like I was telling you, that and also how things should happen. I was telling you that officers do not go on board on their own anymore,
Right.
as used to happen in the old days, and they must jointly board the vessel for their boarding and rummaging. In the old days, it could take any amount of time because any agency could board at any time. But today, that Nigeria Port Process Manual stipulates 90 minutes.
Okay.
What is the difference? Now, to enforce that Nigeria Port Process Manual, a presidential port standing task team was then put in place, headed by somebody from Shippers Council, incorporating Nigerian Port Authority, DSS, ICPC, to then insist on adherence and compliance with that port process manual.
And that is where the government support comes in, right?
It's driven by government, not even government support.
Okay.
We are the ones supporting.
Right.
It is government driving the reform.
Okay.
It is government doing the work.
Okay, so that answers this one. This is a question that's coming in at similar to that. It says, good morning, Mr. Pampa. How has
Yes.
the standard operating procedures, SOP, reduced corruption at the port? Emeka from Ijora is sending that one in. And this one says, good morning. What help do you get from government in this anti-corruption fight? You didn't put your name, by the way. So I think that answers his question. But go ahead.
Yes. So I'm saying that it is actually driven by government, although it was requested by private sector. It was requested by the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network. They requested a partnership with the government to do something.
Right.
But the activities have been driven by government.
Which is very, very good.
The
But-
only problem is that government is so big that some people hear about it and adhere, then new people are transferred, then you have to go and educate those ones again.
So that,
And then those who knew before get transferred. It's that kind of thing. You have to keep the effort going.
right. So,
So
responding
it's
to
not about outsiders like us.
right. So responding to
It's
Chris,
actually driven by government.
yes.
Yes.
So responding to Chris's question of succession. So how would you respond to that? I mean, if a Pampa is not there today, what happens?
It's because it's not a Pampa doing the work. That's the point I'm trying to make. We are only encouraging, and we've got other collaborators who are also looking for the same outcome. So I am just one of many voices and one of many people who have been advocating for this change.
Let's talk about the future. Pampa, as we begin to round off now, what's the next plan for the Convention on Business Integrity?
Okay, the next plan now is to deepen the engagement with the private sector in Nigeria to ensure that when it comes to cargo clearance and clearance of the port corridors, not just in the western ports, but like I said, the eastern ports are even more of a problem, that this starts to gain some traction. That is the biggest issue. Because, I saw a statement credited to the president of the African Development Bank,
Right.
Dr. Adeshino, that said to export 100 tons of something from Ghana will cost you $4,000. But to export 100 tons of that same something from Nigeria will cost you $34,000.
Wow. Wow.
So how will Nigeria ever be competitive? And what our officials fail to know is that all that these companies are paying in bribes goes back into the cost of freight.
Which is very, very true. All right, let's begin to wrap this up now because of time constraints. So, your message to our people out there, Mr. Pampa, even as we round up, quickly, this one coming in says, good morning, Victor. Happy weekend. What can be done to reach a completely corrupt-free port system? Olushesi. Well, I think that's what Mr. Pampa has been talking about. But in rounding up, Mr. Pampa, what's your message to Nigerians this morning?
My message is do not despair. Remain resolute. Resist corruption. Just resist it. And you will find that there are many more people like you who are not interested in corruption.
Right.
Resist it, and you will succeed.
Okay, then. We'll leave it at that for now. Olusoji Apampa, it's always a thing of joy having you connect with us. Thank you so much for linking up with us this morning.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, then. So he is the co-founder of the Convention on Business Integrity, and we've been able to reflect a bit on how best to promote a corrupt-free system in Nigeria. The program has been produced by Mike James. I say a big thank you to that's Rebecca Damu, who's Assistant Director of Public Relations for the Nigeria Shippers Council. In the studios this morning, I have Gloria George, and of course, Remy Aluko is of our social media unit. Okpayemi Shodunke as well. And I want to say, if you want to connect to the Shippers Council, you can do that at NG Shippers, at NG Shippers. The program makes a return on Wednesday, but till then, I am Victor Oteri. Have a great day. Bye.